got the infinity gauntlet of hate. All 6 stones. Hate. No, it's like jealousy, envy. That's all that Matt's been collecting. These stones of hate.
I hate this nigga so bad. He cannot die.
And what's up, y'all? And welcome to this episode of the For All Nerds show. It's your boy, DJ Benhameen, a.k.a. It's Matt Murdock, a.k.a. Satan Solicitor, a.k.a. El Diablo, Abogado, a.k.a. the Swordsman, got stunted on. And
Damn.
I am,
Got big broed.
Big broed, boy, my big bro. Yeah, he got what's my favorite one? Let's play Big Bank, take Little Bank, boy. But before we get to all that, I am joined by
Tatiana and Grand Duchess of Tech, also known as the Little Mermaid, Dark Chocolate, Phoenix, Mulatto Hightower, Scroll Obsidian, Luanda Vision, Tatiana Hannah the Kang, and the Ting of the North.
And as I said before, we are back to discuss Daredevil Bone Again, episode 8.
Yo, I gotta say this before we get it. The streets is back. The streets is back. Listen.
I'm not going that far this time.
I'm gonna say that because Daredevil disappointed me a bit for the last couple of episodes. I was a little scared. I was a little nervous. I was like, oh no, we're going off the rails. But we're back. We're back for me. We're back to the gutter. We back to where we started. We back to the bullshit. We back on our bullshit when it comes to Daredevil. I am so fucking happy. This is what I was looking for. This is what I came here to see.
Okay. I was like 75% there. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like I'm not gonna be like we back like I was on the first 2 episodes because they fooled me already.
Fooled me once.
Yeah, not
Shame
twice.
On you.
Yeah, fool me twice.
Fool me twice, you can't fool me again.
Fool me once. Shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
Yeah.
Such a fucking idiot.
Oh man, but he wasn't. He was the president. Come on. Anyway, but it was a couple things about this episode where I was like, okay, we still back on that bullshit in a bad way. You know what I mean? It was a matter of convenience and nonsense, to get all the players on the board for the final thing. But that being said, once we did get all the players on the board for the final episode, I was definitely hyped. Like there was moments in this episode where I was like, oh shit, we back. Like, I'm sitting there like clutching the chair,
But you're not gonna just give it to them? Just give it to them. Just give it to them. Then 75. Come on. What's the other 25%?
I'll open up to like 85. You know what I mean? It's just I cannot
Ready
say
hater one. You got it.
Ready hater one, and I cannot say we're 100% bad just because there's just certain I mean, I'll say right away, okay, because like we said, we both, pretty much thoroughly enjoyed the episode. Yes. But just Bullseye's whole how he got there was like
well, listen. This is all Matt Murdock's fault. At the end of the day, everything that happens bad to him is his fault.
This is also true.
And I'm not trying to be mean. This is literally what the show is telling me. Everything bad that happens to Matt, whether he gets his ass whooped, whether he, something go down in the DMs, whatever, it's his fault. And Poindexter, Bullseye this whole thing was on him.
Yes. And that being said, all right, now, since I've said that, let me start off because I did thoroughly enjoy the episode. And right off top, we got a recap of the last week, and I got to see Muse taking them Hot Pockets again. And that made, it was like a lot of people called Hot Pockets this episode that I was thoroughly enjoying. Like, sad to say, Adam catching them Hot Pockets and finishing up that storyline was pretty. And then them kissing in front of him while he was lying there dead. You can't get this type of imagery from any show.
When we talk about back, Vanessa and Wilson is back. When I say first of all, we were right.
Yes, we were worried though.
Back. There was a tiny, I don't know. Yes. I told you that I felt like something in me just said no. They had each other's back, and this was her setting it up for. She was doing the alley-oop. She being Vanessa alley-ooped it for Wilson. And you know what I'm saying? Like,
and it was definitely, and she confirmed exactly what I said. That man was a clown. playing at being a king.
She
it was frustrating to watch.
And I was crying. Listen, between them two, like on and they like super villain shit, I live for. I loved it, and to me, it was very in character because at the end of the day, like even when he left her, well, he did leave her, but quote left her, and she took over. It's like she could have did anything else in the world, right? Technically, right? She didn't have to necessarily take over and be the queen pin for that moment. She went in that direction willingly, grew it because she has the know-how, because she has the skill. And then was just like, Wilson, what the fuck? Why are you not coming back to base? So I just think these two, like I said, just the supervillain aspect, like they toxic ass relationship. They feed off each other. But when I say they do well for each other, like it's so wrong, but it's so right how well they operate and how much of each other's backs that they have. That shit was crazy. And yes, we were also right. You were right, rather. Vanessa did not know that he had.
No. Like I said, because
it
was one of the things. Like she would have had that reaction that she had in this episode. You know, the utter like, yo, what the fuck, nigga? Like, you know, you can't be serious.
She did not know that he was holding the boy. Now she legitimately did not know where the nigga was. But
she did not know that this man had him under lock and key. Et cetera, torturous ass kingpin.
Right. Now, what do you think? And this goes back to what I just said a few seconds ago about the decision she makes. She had both the key to unlock the gate, unlock the cell, and the cat.
Yeah,
she picked up the pistol, and why?
It's so funny, right? Long story short, there's a classic. You've heard it now. Raekwon's Only Built for Cuban Links album, where they have these a lot of stitch from this movie Lone Wolf and Cub, right?
Okay.
Yeah, from what it's not Lone Wolf and Cub, but it's where Lone Wolf and Cub come from. But anyway, I want to know where this classic scene comes from because I saw it repeated in the origin of Captain Britain recently, where it's choose the ball or choose the sword.
It's like red pill, blue pill type shit too.
It's more than red blue pill because it's like, choose death or choose freedom. One of those things. Like,
isn't that kind of the same? Red pill, blue.
The
blue pill, you stay where you at. You in death basically.
Now that you put it like that, the red pill, blue pill is definitely a variation of this same thing. And I want to know where the origin of it's from because I've seen it used in so many different things. And this was yet another variation of that, where it's like, here's the key or here's the gat. And you don't get to see what she picks up, which was fire. You know what I mean? You hear her pick up something and then, hot ones, hot pockets. And
how do you feel about that though? Like that she made that decision. I was just like, hot damn, like if that's in her character. I can't say that I fully like disbelieved. Like I couldn't believe she did that. It was kind of just like, nigga, she is solid. Like
I think that's the thing. I think
that's a character. That's her character.
I think we keep forgetting that, I'm hearing the Lock song in my head. I need a ride or die chick. It's like you just, she's the definition of this type of thing. Like,
wow,
she is for real about it. Like, and that's what I mean. I think we keep forgetting that because while he was gone, she was running the empire, doing her thing, and we keep forgetting that Vanessa is this gangster. We want her to be, because, and I think that's at least in my part, it might be a bit of sexism because it's like, oh, she's the woman. She can't be as evil as this dude, right? Ain't no way.
Now, Ben, all the comic books you've read, the ladies usually take it up several notches.
Well, I know, but I think it's just because it's Kingpin, and it's like, this man is such a goddamn monster.
What about Vanessa makes you think innocence?
I don't know. I think it's okay. One, I think I'm forgetting the original show because it's been so long, and I always remember her just not being in the picture, and him always Vanessa, and so like I always expected her to come back into the picture and be like, God damn, this nigga's crazy. I gotta get away from this nigga. But it's like, no, I was always down for this.
She was always that nigga herself.
Yes.
And she will forever be that nigga herself. She will always be HBIC, just like he will always be Kingpin. Like,
there it is.
They are one. They are one. And the reconciliation, like literally killing Adam was the reconciliation. Literally, that lady saw her therapist and said, nah, we good now.
I'm good, fam. I feel great.
Like, I don't know if anyone's been to therapy who's been listening, but like, that's usually not the reason why you stop going to the therapist. Like, you know what? I just committed the most heinous act ever. I think I'm good. Like, that's how they move. And that's them. Like, I guess what I'm saying is when I say that's them, from a writing perspective, from a true to a character perspective, they didn't deviate. Like she just
not at all.
You know what that reminds me of? Like back on Loki, when you were talking about what was Loki's female twin, right? How you was like, no matter what, everybody else says whatever's going down, her goal is to kill. You understand? That's her goal. She's not fucking stopping until she shanked the fuck out of whoever it was she wanted to shank, right?
Yep.
No matter what new information, it's like, no, she's on a path, right? And at the end of the day, it feels similarly for me when it comes to Vanessa. She's on that path and she chose that path. And where the fuck else is she gonna go? Like that, she loved that shit. She live and breathe that shit. So I was just like, yo, that's such a, again, toxicity, but also that is so twisted. Like that was their reconciliation.
I mean, you know,
kill the boyfriend together because they did it together. When you think about it, they did it together.
You know, it is the classic Dr. Evil and Son. You know, I've got the gun right in the room. I can go grab it. We can shoot them together. You know, it's like they, you know,
he was like, I want to show you something. Like he bought her a Bentley or a Rolex, you know, submariner. Like, no, I want to show you something. This nigga, like, you know what I mean? Like that's crazy.
No, what's even crazier for me is her reaction, because once again, like everyone
she
on
was
the
shocked
show,
at first.
yes, and it's the shock quickly turns to this is what it is, and then even the murder, you know, she shoots him, and there's definitely that what the fuck did I just do? And there was like, all right, there's a lot in that.
You think she
scene.
had regret in a second? Like there was a second of regret?
Okay, I will say this: Kingpin took that gun away from her quick.
He did, because
he was like, what if she? Yeah, what if she's like, both of y'all gone?
Yeah. She a little off. She a little off.
Yeah. So he was like, let me take the gun from her quick, hold her hand, and then give her this loving right in front of her dead mistress.
But why his eyes open watching the whole thing? I mean, I know he did, but oh my God, like the unaliving together.
Oh,
together. I mean, but honestly, she gave that look at him when she saw Adam. Like, yes, she was shocked first, but then she was like, man, this fuck nigga. Like, because he's just to her, it's like another clown, but it's also just like, there's nobody going to stand in the way. Now, here's my question for you. Now that I'm thinking and talking real fast and I'm processing. Is Vanessa like this because she knows there's no way out?
No.
Or does she like this simply only because of what I said earlier, which is because this is who she is?
Yeah, and what I said too. You're like, no, I'm fully on that page now. This is who Vanessa is. There's not about no way out. If Vanessa wanted out, she would kill Kingpin. You know, I think
she's smart enough to get it done.
Yeah, you know, that is one thing I will never doubt about women is that when they want something done, they will get it done, and you will never know it's coming.
Period.
Yeah, so it's a wrap. How far do you think they got, you know, in front of Adam? You think they was, you know, banging it out right there?
Please, no. I hope not.
You know they was.
That's
look,
like exceptionally fucked up. If they did.
I mean, look, they already started going at it in front of him. They probably ain't, you know, had that action in a minute. They've been apart. You know, they have not been connected. Violence brings up that bloodlust and that, you know, all that.
That's doing a lot. That's doing quite a lot. It's doing quite a lot for me.
I'm 100% sure they did.
I want to backtrack a little bit. Like when you said you were happy to see, you know, Muse, the finger painter, get them hot ones a minute again.
He was like, ooh, ooh.
How you feel about Vanessa telling Matt, y'all niggas didn't save me, I saved me. How you feel about that?
Not Vanessa.
Not Vanessa. Of Heather.
100% correct. I cheered. Honestly, I cheered. She was like, y'all niggas was all about yourselves. Went and had this little play fight. I grabbed the cop, you know, the hot ones, and and ended it, you know? Now, Matt, you over there fucking around.
That's what goes to what we were saying, that how can you not just house that nigga, like, immediately, Matt? Like, why are we struggling with Taekwondo? Like, let's go.
Struggling. Matt, you should have grabbed the gat, you know, get the gat, you know, it's classic. Come on, man. I was cheering for her. I was cheering her for throughout this episode.
Really? Do you feel like she was a bit judgmental and condescending when she talks about vigilantes specifically? And like,
no.
Okay, explain that.
Because this crackhead is in front of her trying to defend crackheads. It's like when you got a crackhead in front of you trying to defend crack use.
Correct.
You know?
Correct. But let me be clear what I'm referring to. It's the fact to me that she lumps everybody who wears a mask into the same bucket. She has, to me, a judgmental tone about everybody. She don't care. Like, remember how she even said she don't care what Daredevil do or what the Swordsman, all these other people do. Spider-Man even. Like, to her, everybody's one and the same. They're hiding. And they have a problem. Like, I don't think I necessarily like that tone of her. That's the one part.
All right,
I'm just like, all right, hold on. We is not all the same. Like, I get you, psychologist, but
yeah, that sounds real cute. But let me, once again, a crackhead telling you we are not all the same. It does sound really crazy.
But she don't know Matt's a crackhead yet. That's what I'm just saying. Like,
allegedly, and then let me get to that.
Know. She didn't know.
No, she knows.
Still don't know.
She's in vehement denial, but she knows. Let me address that because you did ask the question, and I do not remember the YouTube commenter's name, but we were having a discussion about this, and they believe that Heather would be around for future seasons as like the Tony Soprano's psychiatrist character, where she would be the insight to all of these different people. And I said that is implausible because one, Tony Soprano's psychiatrist did not know half of the shit Heather knows in the first season, and was not.
Well, Heather still also don't know the background of Kingpin.
Let me finish there, though. All right, let me finish. Imagine you, Tatiana, are a therapist, right? You're dating a man who has been lying to you, at the very least, right? You also know there's, more to this man. He shows up beating up all these type of things, right? Where you're like, okay, not only is he lying to me, I mean, he's like ridiculously lying to me because this is a blind nigga, so he shouldn't be running around beat up like this. But all right, so he is definitely lying to me. I'm also, everyone knows who Wilson Fisk is. Like they might not know the extent, but they do know he's been, alleged all these crimes, right? So I'm his therapist with his crazy ass wife. All right. Then I've got this other kid who's obviously insane. And one day puts on a mask and starts attacking me in my office. Another man busts through the window and starts fighting this man. They don't really attempt to save me. I get grievously injured in this fight and I'm forced to kill someone. Are you going to look at vigilantes like, oh yeah, these are all, maybe they're different? No, you're going to look at them as they're all psychopathic.
One major point, sure, if it was in that order. She been had this tone and thought process about vigilante. It wasn't just the Muse situation that all of a sudden she said, all vigilante. From the beginning of this series, when she first started talking about vigilante, she had that feeling and thought about vigilante. She said that from the beginning about vigilantism and people wearing masks, that she was just like, they're hiding and this and this and that. This is well before Muse was even a thing. So she's always felt that way.
It's again, if you're a normal person on the street and these niggas start running around in masks doing this stuff, it's like you're going to look at them as a group. And then she has been through a super traumatic situation where, okay, there's the other, I didn't mention my last point, and they didn't bring it up this episode, but she did bring it up last episode. Daredevil said her name. She knows Matt's voice. The nigga's not doing, the Batman. He said her name. So throughout this episode, she's hearing this man say Heather, Heather, Heather. And she's like, oh.
Do you think she's putting two and two together?
She been to, look, it's like when my mom knew I was smoking weed. You know what I mean? She knew I was smoking weed.
She smelled that loud every time.
Yeah, she smelled that loud every time I came in the house. But it wasn't until she caught me smoking weed that she was like, yo, what the fuck? You know what I mean? It's one of them things. Women who love you will deny a lot of shit until
I'll give you that she's just in vehement denial and all this other stuff. However, what I still don't necessarily agree with is that idea. Like it wasn't just the Muse thing that drove her to feel like everyone's a
she's already.
Like,
she's a psychiatrist.
And I don't agree with lumping that. To your point, let's bring it to real life. You said that was me, and so people who started putting on masks and doing fuck shit in the streets. Yes, I'd be like, these fucking psychos. But if another fucking psycho shows up putting down the first psychos, I'd be like, well, maybe they trying to help. I'm not going to automatically think, all of them is bad. If one of them is trying to stop the bullshit, then I'm like, okay, well, maybe they got a point.
It's like if a cop shows up and starts shooting at the, vigilante who's fucking me up, I'm still gonna look at the cop and the vigilante as crazy because
you can't use cop because that's a charge.
It's the same difference. So that's the thing.
That's not what she said. We're not talking about cops. We're talking about mass randoms.
Even worse to her. At least cops are people, somewhat like you can find out who they are. What I can't get the exact word, but held culpable. These people are masked. You have no idea who they are.
Would you want someone, if someone's out there fucking not even looting, somebody beating up the grannies in the streets and some random fucking, again, Taekwondo Muse. And then here comes so-and-so with a mask that beat that nigga up and stop him from roughing up the grannies in the streets. You got a problem with that? the nigga that stopped that? You have a problem? That's what I'm asking. What is the problem?
But you gotta remember what she said very clearly in this episode. They were not concerned with saving me. That is her view. And
that situation, yes. That situation, absolutely. They was
that's her viewpoint, and that's her life-threatening situation. The one time she's had a close encounter with vigilantes, both of them came in and wild out in her office. There was no like, let me save you, miss, and get you out of here. It's like, no, let me fuck this other dude up. You know what I mean? That's all that was about.
I agree in terms of that situation. I'm just saying her worldview from before that happened.
Yes, her worldview was already...
I don't know if I agree with that.
Look, she was already a Karen, and then, Donald Trump got elected president, and she's like, yeah. No, it's that type of situation. Like, she already had a view, and then her life experiences, like, I never liked cops, and then my life experiences made me like, fuck all police.
Again, I'm saying this is different because she didn't have a history of vigilantes doing shit to her or going wild, crashing out on her. It's not the same. It's not. I don't like the cop analogy. It's not the same.
She lives in New York. The aliens came through the sky. Like, people are going to have.
But that's not vigilante. That's a fucking alien. And that's another thing. Thank you. You know what? You brought a point that's actually on my point. You live in a world with fucking aliens and gods and niggas flying around and shit, teleporting, and that is your problem? Oh, I don't like these niggas in the mask. Fuck out of here. Are you dead ass?
I mean,
are you dead ass? Like, you don't fuck with them? Never mind the Avenger who saved your fucking life. For all we know, you was one of the blips, so maybe you didn't even see none of this shit. This is what I'm talking about. Why I have my problem with that one part of her. That's my problem. I don't like her in the beginning, before the Muse fight, lumping everybody into the same bucket. That's the only thing I got. I'm not saying she wrong for feeling the way she feels. I just don't agree with her.
All right. I mean, I agree. I myself was cheering for her because I myself have been like, you need to dump this fool and get out of here before you catch this hot one.
Yeah. I mean, I applaud her for saving. She did fucking save herself. I do applaud her for grabbing a gun and saying, what the fuck is this? Like, end this shit now. Because I'm like, it didn't have to go that far.
No, because Matt clearly enjoys beating on people. That's the other part of it. Right. Matt enjoys that part of it. So,
of course. And this man is out of control. So this episode also confirmed something that it shook my faith last episode, but it reinstated what I had always thought from the beginning, which was Buck fucking knew that Heather was. Remember, I said that over and over.
We all said that. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Heather was with Daredevil or vice versa. He knew what's going on. Matt Murdock, all that stuff, and he picked her on purpose. And then once Matt find out, he puts two and two together. Like, wait a minute, that's your client. Like, he is on purpose. He's fucking with me
again. Okay, and that goes back to your point. We live in a world of Avengers, etc. And Matt gonna lie to this woman, and I was like, "Yo, I'm Daredevil. I know all this shit." You know what I mean? That's
but you know what they say about
that's a foolishness in this. You live in a world where people can't blip out of existence, bro. You have no choice about like what can happen to someone. You need to let them know right now and stop lying to people. That's like, we live in that world right now. Anyone can be blipped out of existence at any moment. That is life.
This is fact.
So are you going to spend your time lying to someone that you're in a relationship with? No, because my enemies can come and get you. Nigga, a car wreck can come and get you. Nigga, anything can come and get you. Like, you know what I mean?
But Ben, remember, like I said, it's the whole superhero thing. Is it a lie or is it to protect
but that's
the people you love?
Yeah, it's that's the problem. And for Matt, it's because he likes lying and living this double life. That's like,
so you think it's not a protection thing?
I look at Matt as a crackhead who will do anything to hit that crack. You know what I mean? I don't like, that's all it is to it. Like, I've said this over this whole season. This nigga's a fiend. Whatever it takes to get to, the rock, he will do it. Lie, cheat, steal, whatever. I need that hit.
Literally the white.
Yes. And so that's what I'm saying. That's where I'm like, I don't really, fault Heather. And I fault Matt, like you said, for a lot of the bad shit happening because we don't live in that world like of, oh, my enemies come. You live in a world where it's been happening. It's like you said, New York has been attacked by aliens. The fact that you're Daredevil is small change.
Okay. As someone who isn't Daredevil, I can't, again, whether he's wrong or right, I can't necessarily fault him for the choices he made. He did what he did.
You think swordsmen be hiding that shit from his shorties?
Yes.
That nigga probably tell them on the first date.
He doesn't tell anybody. According to that, he's just another mass vigilante. He's not. Who the fuck did he tell? Just like when he fucking lied to Wilson in his face. When Wilson said, Wilson fucking said, you're the swordsman. He said, well, I don't know what you're talking about. He did that same fuckboy shit too.
You're right, because he's divorced, right? Because he got divorced.
I don't remember, I guess.
Well, no, because he said he comes sad to everything now.
Oh, okay.
All right, now that's my other question. Who was that woman, Artemis, and why was she so upset?
Well, I think that's from the Hawkeye series. I forgot because he said her husband. She said, "Where's your husband, Arthur?" And she goes, "I don't know. Do you know?"
Yeah.
I don't remember who Arthur is or what he looked like. I think I need to go back.
Damn.
But I do think they're all those three characters specifically were from the Hawkeye series. Obviously Jack, but I also think the lady wasn't. There's some situation there that has to do with
nothing
Wilson.
Like about no Artemis from
he said Artemis and Arthur was her husband.
Yep, I remember that, but I have no clue.
I don't know, man. But I listen, niggas lie every day, B. So maybe you got a good reason, maybe you don't. Like you said, maybe you just want that white stuff. I don't know. I do know that was some cold shit, the way Wilson and Vanessa came out for their first reveal.
Amazing.
And when that man had the stark white from top to bottom, from the baldy bean, egghead, all the way down to the shoes, Gucci down to the socks, and all whites. And then Vanessa with the blood red dress. Talk about symbolism.
Yeah, pretty much.
That was amazing. That was beautiful. When they came out, and they came out stronger than ever. And then seeing the bastardization of that color and what the purity and the he's pure Wilson Fisk, Kingpin now. You understand? He's Mayor Fisk, but he will forever be that other nigga. And then his Lady of Death at his side, that shit was cold to me.
Cold as hell. No, incredible. And we talked about this, how last episode he was talking about how his suits don't fit anymore, and they were all the black suits. And then in this episode, even when he takes her to see Adam, he's wearing the gray suit.
Mm-hmm.
So he's starting to transition.
Transitioning, yes.
And then he switches to the all white, and he's fully, back to Kingpin, calling this nigga the devil, doing his usual.
So wait, when they was dancing, was he whispering to the nigga?
No, that's the thing. He's just talking, and he knows he can hear him.
He's just talking low. Okay, but that's what I'm saying. He's basically whispering to
he's basically whispering to,
But ain't that some shit? Your op, you dancing around, and you just whispering to your op, I hate you, nigga. And only your op can hear that. And and that tension, like you said, you felt it when you were watching the episode. That tension is so raw and so real. And I felt like they was going to kill each other at any moment if they especially when Matt wanted to confront him. I thought it was going to be a wrap at any second. I couldn't imagine you at the club and your worst op is there and you just whispering, fuck you, nigga. You know what I'm saying? And they hear that. They hear that over everything.
Oh, that'd be so awesome though.
And just again, just the palpable hard raw tension between Wilson and Matt, and how literally any minute I feel like they would kill each other. Mm-hmm. And that's why I kept saying yo, we back. This is the wild stuff. I felt scared. Understand? No, and I'm sitting comfortably eating, burrito. Whoa,
100%. Like I said, it was more the setup, because my thing was why did these idiot guards, take this man back into the dentist office without the big cuffs on his hand? You know what I mean?
Well, that was weird with the no cuffs, but again, this is Matt's fault.
Yeah,
did they know that he was gonna hit him and hit his head and then dislodge a fucking tooth? And just even more reason, they really mean it when they say you can't give this nigga Bullseye anything.
No, and nothing. No, that was another one, because that's a classic one. I swear he did that in this Captain America when I first became terrified of Bullseye, was when he shot his tooth at somebody. So that's when I was like, oh, this nigga different. You know what I mean?
No, he's different.
Yeah, killed somebody with the tooth and all that. And so, no, it was just that. And then him, getting on the bus and everything. I was like, all right, whatever, some bullshit. But once he got there and he starts walking in, just the whole setup, the police down there fucking with the photography dude, Daniel being his big dick, and I had to say, damn it, I thought Daniel wasn't making it out of this season, but nah, Daniel's definitely
gonna make it.
He's making it.
He's mini Kingpin now.
Yeah, he is definitely you called it. Yeah. The thing, I thought he was still gonna get choked out even as Kingpin son. And we still have one more episode.
Well, he still can. He still can. And maybe even not this season, he still can.
Oh no, yeah, I mean he is not like long for this earth. You know, that's what I mean. Like there's no world where it's like Daniel becomes the kingpin, you know, or Daniel becomes a rival for the kingpin. None of that is happening. No, Daniel gets dunned off the moment he becomes a threat.
I have a question, and maybe I missed it. Just back to Bullseye real quick. When they put him in Gen Pop, why did they call him Agent Poindexter?
Yeah, I think he's a former
is he an
military.
informant or
military.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was just like, what the fuck do you mean?
They were taking shots, you know, like Agent Poindexter. Look at you now, bitch. You know, that type of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
No, because he's definitely trained. You know, Bullseye's been military trained, etc. He didn't just become a monster like this, you know, off top. So.
Yeah, you mentioned Daniel because I wanted to talk about him. This like classic failing upwards nigga, like deputy of mayor of communications.
And man just said, "I'm gonna keep running." Like running where, nigga? Like I was like, "What are you talking about running?"
He gonna keep riding till the wheels fall off. That's how they do.
I guess that's what he meant. It was like when he said running, I'm like,
he meant riding till the wheels fall off. But is that not what men of his type do, and how they succeed in this world?
You already know.
Like that shit is wild. And then the whole Sheila thing, like I'm nervous for Sheila, like how he like you said, he's smelling himself, Daniel, and the way he talked to Sheila kind of funny style. Like Sheila is the older lady. Listen. And the way he
Sheila
was just
done.
He basically
not long
just
for
like
this earth
he basically was like, you ain't gonna be here long, shorty. Like I was like, whoa, like don't talk to your elders that way. Like watch your mouth.
Why not? This is who Daniel is. Like I feel you.
Crazy.
Yeah, I feel you, but Daniel is not some, you know, black boy raised in the church. Daniel is a crack. I mean, you know, like a full example of it. Like Daniel is an asshole. Daniel is what you said. He's a white man who is failing upwards, who's been blessed. And he can't believe it. He's like, I'm an idiot, and look at me. I made it. He straight up tells her, he's like, yo, I can't believe it. I don't know how. I don't know why. But look at me now.
I'm a fucking clown, and here I am.
Pure clown. Trash. So no, I do like if I'm gonna, you know, place my bets on the board, I still don't think Sheila outlasts Daniel. Sadly,
I could see her going first.
I don't know though. I can see them flipping it and Sheila finding a way to, you know, dun Daniel in
because she's supposed to be the big dog. At the end of the day, she's the most experienced, so she could still catch Daniel in some, you know, catch him on some shit. So
I think that'd be a great way. I hope so because I don't want to see Sheila get taken out and then, you know, have to wait for Daniel to get taken out. She might.
I mean, that actress, she tends to play those characters that get got. I noticed that. Like, her characters get got a lot of times. So, it's not even her fault. I'm just sorry. I don't know. And then this whole thing about, like, does he have a crush on BB or whatever? Like, Daniel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, he's trying to beat.
So, and so now we have another fucked up dynamic because now you have BB, who, like a genuine reporter, you know, just like her uncle, she now in some deep shit with the commissioner, like trying to figure out, okay, you know, the whole thing about the task force and all the underworld shit going on, you know, right beneath the surface. I'm scared for her as well, BB.
I mean, you should have been terrified from her from, you know, the moment she showed on the scene. But I don't feel like they will at least quickly repeat, you know, like we said before, Ben, you know, she's not going to get dunned off anytime soon.
It can't be. That'd be too tragic.
You know, we're putting up the Deadpool right now for this show, and I have low bets for her. Super low bets for her. Yeah. At least she's making it through season 2.
Okay.
The other two I'm not sure about for season 2. Yeah. BB will be alive.
All right. So with all that said, we got to talk about the biggest elephant in the room. There's mad elephants, but this is probably the biggest, the woolly mammoth of them all.
Okay.
Vanessa ordered the hit on Foggy.
I mean,
Vanessa.
Ooh. You know, I got to do the LeBron James meme. Ooh.
Right. But it's not that it was like this, like, oh my God moment. It was just like, she's a YN. Like,
we already know this.
No, not to that level.
Man, when she put the hot ones in Adam, you think Foggy is a problem?
Not that Foggy is the problem. That was even on her radar. That nigga over there was even on her radar off of some other shit. Like, I just didn't even think that was even in the equation for her.
No, but it was the equation of that, like she said, he needed to be silenced. It wasn't about...
Yes, I know, but I'm just like, damn. That, like, Foggy was
The question is,
I
why
thought
would
to her,
she?
Foggy's like an insignificant. So it's just like, damn, why you'd be involved in that?
But he needed to be silenced. You're just like, why did she send I think it might be the same question I'm about to ask. Why did she send Bullseye to do all this?
Because she could have sent anybody, because Foggy is not a superhero or anything.
No. But she wanted the job done well. But my thing is, like, did she know about Bullseye's former beef with them?
And also, Bullseye is all the sensationalist. Like, he couldn't do that shit quietly. Like, he made it a scene.
But that's because of his beef with them. And so it's like, I don't know. Did she know?
So
she should have known.
I'm like,
I don't remember enough of the third season, man. And I hate that, for everybody. But I remember that Bullseye, Kingpin, and Daredevil were all fighting at one point. Like, all of them were in rooms together.
I don't remember that.
I do believe that's how it ended. So I don't know, man. I feel like she should have known better to send him. That's just like, I don't.
Maybe she didn't know that they had to be, like you said, like I said, some shits is insignificant to her. Maybe she didn't know that they was beefing.
Man, you got to know when it's beef like
the op sent a bigger op over there. Like, that's wild.
You got to know, especially when you send somebody for a job that you need somebody silenced. You don't need to do shooting up the whole.
She didn't say do it silently.
Oh, and then again, maybe she wanted that.
Silenced?
Because look at that, like he shoots up the whole place, kills all the people. Foggy. It don't look like it's on Foggy. It's just
looks like he was part of something terrible happened to a group of people, and he was caught in a crossfire.
He just got caught in a crossfire, so maybe
it wasn't a hit.
No, it wasn't a hit, so it might have been better that way.
That's a good point, Ben.
And that leads to my other question: what if Matt wasn't a drinker? How would he have ever found out? Pure luck, pure dumb luck that man's an alcoholic and a fiend.
I didn't want to. Is that part of like his stereotype of being Irish? I mean, the thing is,
I don't know. I don't think in the comics, because of Comics Code, they ever really show him drinking. I'm sure they do at some points, but
wasn't he? That was his father. That was a drunk.
Yes, his father's definitely a drunk. So I don't think Matt drinks in the comics because of his dad, or doesn't drink much. If he does, I know, like, and I remember, like, in one of the first Daredevil comics, I think at the end of it, because it was during Inferno and shit was going down. So I think at the end of it, he was in a bar drinking with some cats. I do remember that, because that was like one of the first comics. It was like first time I ever saw a superhero, like, and it's still masked, throwing it back. So I think Matt does drink, but I don't think he's like an alcoholic like his dad, obviously. But
pour one out for Foggy. Pour one out for Foggy, man. Damn. And this man still didn't show up in the episode, like, even as a flashback. As a like a face in the sky, like, I miss my nigga Foggy.
That goes to, like, once again, this YouTube commenter we were talking, and they told me that the showrunner said, and I've heard that Foggy somehow will be in season 2. I don't know how. And they said that Muse will somehow be in season 2.
Oh no, please, no.
That was my exact 100% reaction.
Go back. Just cancel. No. Do not want. Me no want. No,
they had this wild ass theory about Muse, like, possessing people, and like Heather becoming a new Muse.
No, get the fuck out of here. Now y'all getting stupid. Now I don't want to hear this.
Hey, look, I didn't, I told them that was an interesting take, but I disagree, homeboy. And so what do we have for next episode?
Well, before that,
okay,
the other thing I wanted to talk about.
Yep.
Matt protecting Wilson.
Oh no! Thank you for bringing it up. Amazing.
Let's talk about that a little bit, because that's very interesting. At first, I was like, "Oh, he's jumping."
Fiend can't live without his connect.
Without that,
you know what I mean? Like, you gonna let the connect go?
First, I was just like, "Listen." When the thing went down, I was like, "Oh, he gonna jump because homegirl gonna be in the way. His girl Heather, right? I'm thinking she gonna be on the side where the thing is pointing. Who knows who the fuck Poindexter is pointing at, right?
I thought he was just shoot Vanessa.
Right, I thought he was gonna shoot Vanessa, but either way, I thought Matt was gonna go protect one of the women.
I thought Vanessa was catching them hot ones.
Perhaps,
yeah.
But I could also see, because I was like, this is Daredevil. He hears this shit. Yeah. He's not gonna let that shit go down. Like, even though remember, he just started confronting her. He just like, oh, so you kill Foggy. She said, well, nigga, you Daredevil. Now what? Right? They was in the middle of the confrontation, so he's not gonna let shit go down. He's going to talk to her.
I also know that, like you said, I didn't take that into account, that he was gonna hear. Because I was like, I thought Poindexter would get the shot off. Vanessa would catch that one.
If the nigga could unlock a safe,
yeah, he gonna know.
a bank safe. He gonna hear this. So I just thought it was one of the women's. The nigga jumped like he was the fucking, like he was Secret Service, and that was the president of the United States of America, like on fucking Paradise.
No, he jumped like he was a fiend, and the Connect was about to get shot. Like that's what he jumped like. He's like, if my Connect go down, where am I gonna get my product from?
He jumped like Sterling K. Brown's character.
No, you keep talking about this president shit. We need to get, like, I don't know. I didn't watch all of Snowfall, but if somebody ever jumped in front of Saint, because they had to make sure, like,
not my supply.
Yes. Because straight up, where else is he gonna get that good rock from but from the Kingpin? He knows that the only man who can bring him that rock like he loves is the Kingpin. Now, he ain't got no other ops like that.
I did have the same thought. And again, it took me back to what I said, maybe episode 1 and 2, where I was just like, this is like, in a way, they're giving very much Joker Batman, where it's just like, I can't live without you. Like, they are, again, the whole time, this was so funny. When he did show up, Heather said, are you even listening? This nigga was not listening to her not one time, because he was it was on site. Cameron Wilson on site.
He saw that. He was like, he started scratching.
Immediately, they was locked in. So I'm just like, for him to be like, I hate you so much, nigga. No, if anybody gonna get to kill you, it's gonna be me. Like, that's what I felt from that. That shit was, no. That, I'm like, now Matt is psychotic. He's complete, not to say he should just let the nigga die, but it's just the way he jumped in front of him. It was just very much, not my baby, no.
Let that nigga die. Like, where is that in this equation? Like, that is not going to happen. This nigga's a fiend. And that's what I mean. Okay, now if Heather, like, you want to talk about Heather thinking vigilantes are psychopathic. Wait until she finds out who this nigga really is.
Yeah,
you jumped in front of this nigga.
He was about to tell her too, till he locked eyes with Wilson again. It was like, oh, here we go. Like,
so that's what I'm saying. You jumped in front.
All right, and took it, and he didn't take it to the heart. He took it like right here, right? Like,
he's fine. He's gonna be ready for next episode. But the point being, he took a bullet for his op.
He took a bullet.
What type of fiend is she gonna think he is? The type of fiend that I think he is.
On a scale of 1 to Kendrick, what level hate is that you would do something like that?
0. Kendrick ain't jumping in front of a bullet for that man.
No. How much do you? But I'm saying this is we're talking about from a psychotic perspective. How much do you have to hate someone to not want them to get killed because you want to deal with them? Wow. That's what I mean.
Okay, I feel you. Kendrick might jump in front of the bullet on that case.
Like, no, if anyone's gonna do this,
yes, it's gonna be me. Yeah. Wow.
Think about that.
Infinite, nigga. That nigga got the infinity gauntlet of hate. All 6 stones. Hate. No, it's like jealousy, envy. That's all that Matt's been collected.
I hate this nigga so bad. He cannot die.
I just think of Ice-T from New Jack City. I want to kill you so bad.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that energy, I mean.
Yeah, that's like unnecessary energy. Like, nah, bro. I did not need to hear that Ice-T ever in my life.
Like, Matt thrives, as does Wilson. They thrive off each other. So it was just like, my reason, to me, it's like, that's his reason for living. Because you said he's so engulfed in just being a fuckboy Daredevil, out here. And Wilson, alternatively, is also just so engulfed in being Kingpin no matter what. They are that dichotomy. They can't live without each other.
No, that's one thing I wanted to bring up before we talk about next week real quick, is that one of my favorite lines from the show, from this episode, was, we're babysitting chaos. It feels useless. That's what Matt says to his lawyer partner. Mm-hmm. And in reality, that's because Matt's like, I don't want to sit here and babysit chaos. I want to raise that bitch up to be a full-grown man.
He said, I want to crash out. That's what he said.
He's like, I want to make sure chaos grows up. I don't want to babysit it. I want to make sure it grows up into a full-grown man full of, I don't need a little babysitter chaos. I need chaos. I need it out there. I need it everywhere. Like, he's like, he is full on. No.
Speaking of chaos, your nigga Officer Powell, he's off the leash completely. The way he burnt that.
Please let this nigga die in the next episode. Please let Officer
Like,
Powell die finally.
This man, again, he got to have the super soldier serum or something. There's no fucking way.
Invertible.
There's no way.
I mean, they keep showing it. They keep showing that scene of him getting whopped in the head, and then somehow just being fine 5 seconds later. Like, I mean, the ass beating he took in that second episode should have been the end of Officer Powell for this whole season. But unfortunately, no. All right, now, once again, going back to the death pool, I'm putting bid money on Officer Powell not making it out of the next episode.
Oh, I hope so. I think it's his time.
I think it's his time.
His time is up. He's being a little too big for his britches, you know, and he's gonna cross the wrong one, hopefully. But you know,
he gotta go.
I don't know how they're gonna kill those. Like Superman, you need kryptonite for this nigga. Like, how do you kill the unkillable?
Poindexter's in there. He gonna clean up. And sadly, I feel like Black Cop with the light eyes. He catching one.
I think he's catching one too.
Yeah, I think Poindexter's gonna clean up a bunch of them cops next episode. You know what I mean? So, like the ranks is getting thin of the task force.
Buck gonna be okay, right? Buck Cashman.
Damn it! Now that you said it, I don't know.
You don't
Buck
think
has been like he been too smooth. You know what I mean? Poindexter might catch him slipping.
Buck gonna make it out because because at the end of the day, Wilson, that type of person, they need a right hand. You know, they need every Picard needs his number 2. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think Buck is gonna make it out.
We shall see. What else you got for next week in our final episode?
Listen, the story's not gonna end. There was first and foremost.
My man jumped in front of a bullet. It obviously ain't ended.
Yes. And first and foremost, there's going to be no resolutions. It's just going to be hopefully a good cliffhanger. That's like, okay, well, I guess we got to wait till next year or whatever year this next one comes out. I don't think him and Heather are making it out as a couple.
They damn well better not.
Because again, she almost broke up with him like a whole episode ago. So I think this is probably the end of it. Especially like you said, he ends up telling her, because he was about to, but if he ends up like in the hospital, wherever the fuck he is, says, I'm Daredevil, she's out.
Yeah.
She's 100% out. You claim you might see your girl Karen. I don't know. I don't think you ever see her
some way. I'm hoping. I don't know. We'll see. I was thinking Frank Castle. I don't know. Unless he just
I told you I wanted to see Frank one more time. It would be nice.
Maybe, I guess. I'm hoping. Maybe he runs and starts, but maybe he thins out some of them cops next episode. Maybe he runs in like,
gotta go. They keep hinting at it, but are we gonna see some Jack Duskane action? We're gonna see some swordsman action at any point?
I don't think so.
It was like, that's an also ran nigga. Okay.
That man is definitely like, when Bullseye shows up and Daredevil shows up, he's like, okay.
Let me bow out.
Yeah.
Y'all niggas got
exit stage left even. Like, he knows exactly who he is,
He knows the limitations.
Yeah. MC should know the limitations. Like, like you always talk about power scale.
Yes.
Like his does not creep up.
He knows. Outclassed.
Yeah, he's here and they're there.
He's deeply outclassed, yes.
Deeply. Yeah.
Okay. What about you? What you think?
That man be fighting muggers. Like he is not trying to take on Daredevil.
What you think about the final episode?
What do you mean?
What do you think of what's about to go down? Like,
I'm excited. I'm back to excitement. I'm definitely back to excitement. We'll see. I'm not like, where I'm like, oh, this is gonna wrap up and be what a season. I'm like, okay, it's more having seen this episode, it more excites me for season 2. I hate being that type of person, but I also just know that this showrunner didn't really have a chance to really put their mark on the show. So now it's like I really want to see what they do, even though I'm not, and that's the thing, I'm not 100% sure they really have anything more to say about Daredevil that hasn't been said, because that's how this whole season felt to me. We really don't have anything more to say about this character that hasn't been said, but I know y'all love him, and these actors are so great that it feels kind of new, but to me, this season hasn't been much new growth or anything. It's just been like, this fiend needs to get back to being a fiend. And
that's fair.
Yeah. But we'll see it. That's what I'm saying. I want to see what their vision is. So maybe they do some different shit. Maybe next season it ain't about a fiend. Maybe it's, I don't know. Maybe because he gets his shit off, and now next season he can just go back to being a full-on crackhead. Fucking cats up every episode. I don't know.
Anyways,
we shall see.
Matt should have never went down there. This would have never fucking happened, and we wouldn't have seen the extent of his depravity.
Never went down where?
to the jail and saw Poindexter. Matt should have never went down in the jail and saw Poindexter. If he never went there, he would never hit Poindexter's head on the thing. The little tooth wouldn't dislodge, and Poindexter wouldn't use it to get out. That's why I just said everything comes back to Matt.
True indeed. No arguments there.
Yeah. I'm still here for it. Listen.
Definitely here for it.
This episode did it for me. So I'm back. I'm on board again.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah.
All right. So that's it, y'all.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody in the live chat. You know, we are here on twitch.tv/ForAllNerds. We will be back. We will be back next week because we'll be hosting a game night. You know, we'll be back on.
Yes, game night is back, y'all. Y'all gonna be happy for this one. This one's gonna be funny as fuck. I already know.
Yes, so that will be next week, Monday, right? I think we decided.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
But you know, follow us on Instagram, ForAllNerds, and you will find out more of that. Or you know, just hit the follow button right now on twitch.tv/ForAllNerds. And that way you'll get the updates. You'll see when we're posting. You'll see when we're back live. You know, you'll get that notification, all that good stuff. But yeah, we'll be back very soon on here to do game night. And then, I mean, it's a lot coming, man. Like, not only does Daredevil finale hit next week, The Last of Us drops this Sunday. The first episode of the second season of Last of Us drops Sunday. So look for our review Monday. Probably won't have a live drop for that, but we will be back Monday. And then you know what Andor.
Yeah, Andor season 2.
Andor season 2. Where are you at in the first season?
I still have to finish.
Okay, you still at the same spot you were before? Oh yeah, we finished the next arc and
I finished like 3 shows before I finished that. I have to finish this now.
Yeah, you have to because it's coming back next week, and the prison arc was just as good as I mean, it was. Oh my god, I was in tears. This show is one of the greatest shows ever made.
But like I said, but I'm getting closer to where you believe I should be. Like just like I said, the feelings I felt.
Yeah, and like I say, you're about to get to the shit that's gonna just
really
ruin you, and then it's gonna bring you back. It's gonna do a lot. Those next 3 episodes are really gonna really crush you first. It was hard for me to get to.
Damn.
Ooh, but it's so good. But then by the end of it, it's like so good. Anyway, so we'll be back for Andor season 2, Last of Us season 2, Daredevil season 1 finale. Make sure you peep our review of The Amateur, which is in theaters this Friday, dropping later on this week, probably Thursday or something like that. Maybe tomorrow.
One day this week. Maybe it's even tomorrow. What's today?
Today's Tuesday.
Okay.
Our Daredevil review should be dropping at some point tomorrow or Thursday if you're not watching it live with us right now, so you're getting it ahead of time.
That's facts.
And then Amateur will be out tomorrow actually sometime, so look for that. Like I said, a lot of stuff coming. T-shirts, you know, we got these shirts popping. Make sure you head over to ForAllNerds.com and get all this fly shit. The Magneto is right. Tatiana is rocking one of the big hits. The Krakoa versus Everyone, also available on ForAllNerds.com. Bid DJ Energy is back up and live. Make sure you head over there to biddjenergy.com and get all of my music. If you leave your email, you get free music. I'm dropping a new mashup collection probably later on this week, probably Friday, with a bunch of new joints. So make sure you head over there, leave your email, biddjenergy.com, and you get that for free 99. Look at that.
Thank you again for everyone who came through, who continues to support us, or if you're just new here, we welcome. And as Benhameen said, please, you can support us in a multitude of ways. You can also go to the Patreon, patreon.com/ForAllNerds. Also, I didn't get to put it up last week, but I'll put it up today. There will be a contest, so you can win some free things up there, you know, like free goodies. So you got to be part of the Patreon in order to even.
And they did get the 2 new episodes this month, right?
They get to 2 new episodes, but I got to put up the contest for you guys. So it has something to do with The Working Man. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go on YouTube right now, watch our A Working Man review. Funniest thing ever. And then again, The Amateur, that's going to be another funny one. So.
Oh yeah, it's a classic. Instant. Amazing film. And with that, we are out. We are off live. Thank you for everyone for joining us. Catch us back here next week for game week. And hopefully I'll be on here DJing at some point. I'm trying to get that ish together. But, you know, you'll see if you follow and, you know, you'll learn all that good stuff.
Thanks. Hey, what's up, internets and the fan fam? This is Tatiana King for All Nerds, and I want to thank you so much for listening and watching to For All Nerds. Make sure you like and subscribe to us only on YouTube.
For All Nerds Show is a member of the Loudspeakers Network, where we always say rest in peace to our founder, Combat Jack.
For All Nerds Show is powered by our listeners. Everything we do, from our podcasts, live events, our website, are all independently funded. Please continue to support us through our Patreon page at patreon.com/forallnerds.